Hello again everyone, Melth here, with more of my Baldur's Gate 3 challenge run, details of which are in the YouTube video description. This time, I'll be moving into the city of Baldur's Gate proper, tackling some of the initial battles there and talking about some important all-day long buffs you can get as well. As always, watch out for spoilers throughout this run. Okay. So, where we left off, I'd done one giant battle against everyone on the first level of Worm's Rock Fortress here. So I'm going to skim over a little bit of looting here. I'm going to use the Spell Thief Bow to get a few kills to restore some first level spell slots on people like Korlak and Minthara. And then I also will be needing to think about one thing as I cross over into Baldur's Gate over there, which is when you enter a new zone like that, the game will heal your main characters to full and break their concentration. So I'll need to, per my challenge run rules, knock Ballista back down to 32 HP and I guess Astarion to 112 once I get over there.
Everything is clear. Let's have a look.
Lots of evidence here about the corruption and brutality of the Flaming Fist. There's a few good members, but a lot of them are just awful. I've mentioned before the useful trick for this kind of run that if you shoot someone point blank with a ranged attack, you'll get an automatic critical hit if they are unconscious or paralyzed or things like that, which can then reliably trigger the on-critical hit effect of the Spell Thief Bow, giving me a couple more first level spell slots. Alright, well, that was tedious, but I've injured my characters one hit point at a time back to where they were. So, let's have you reapply your symbiotic entity. And I guess I had talked about using my new Armor of Agathis, so why don't I turn on my free cast that I should have but don't have for some reason. I didn't use that, I know I'm supposed to have that available, but I guess it got stolen by the game somehow? That's irksome. Okay. Maybe instead of casting a 5th level Armor of Agathis with my free cast, I'll just settle with a 4th level one using up an elixir. That's weird and annoying though. Yeah, that cost me elixirs, and it's not going to be quite as strong as it should have been, but oh well. So, as we enter Baldur's Gate here, we see this Flaming Fist is enforcing some of Gortash's orders to extort livestock from the poor refugees and things like that, and give them to the Ducal Council, which are just the 4 wealthiest rulers of Baldur's Gate, basically. This guy here is about to hang random people.
Front and keep your nose clean, you.
So, the Flaming Fists are becoming tyrannical and just enforcing Gortash's little reign of terror.
By then, it will be too late. I can't help the dead, but I can warn.
We already saw them extorting tolls under false pretenses at the front gate and things like that too.
And you have nothing to.
This guy will go on to say that he'll happen to hang pickpockets and things like that.
Murderers, pickpockets, doesn't matter.
Yeah, so pretty loony to think that both petty crimes and major ones deserve death. And over here, this Steel Watcher has knocked out, possibly caused fatal brain injuries to this person over here, who is said with people nearby to definitely not be a thief, and so was on a list for who knows what reason. Could have done who knows what to offend Gortash.
Even do. I bet nobody knows. I didn't see her do anything wrong.
And if you listen to them chatter, they'll go on about how they know her and she's not a thief. And so basically, we immediately see a lot of tyrannical and violent actions by the corrupt Flaming Fist here. Now, I'm not going to be in the habit of just picking fights with every random Flaming Fist group throughout the city, but here, near their barracks, you can get a pretty good, interesting fight, and you have, I think I just went through, some fairly good reasons to be picking it, too. So, I might actually go ahead and attack here and try to drive off this group of Flaming Fists. Let me see if I can pull in their barracks force, too. So maybe I'll have someone like Astarion start off over there, so that group will get aggroed hopefully when the other group here does. Then I don't fully understand, to be honest, what causes additional Flaming Fist reinforcements to be pulled in from the various entrances here. They can have that happen in large groups, or it can not happen. I don't really know. Hopefully it'll happen. It will have, therefore, a tough fight here, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. What we will do, I think, is throw out a bless on our attackers that rely heavily upon their spell attacks. And you, perhaps, since we'll be fighting a lot of human targets here, will use a Carabossen Venom. And now, with that done, talk, and we'll pick the attack option there, I think. Okay. So that will hopefully pull in these guys too. Why is this? Saurian's in combat, but... Oh, 2 separate combats. And we've seen before how we need to be careful about that, because you can have it just eat someone's turn, basically. So, where is Yastra? Named, I guess, for a goddess. But anyway, can counterspell, therefore has to die early. So we will use our Dread Ambusher range. Decent chance to just instant kill there. Didn't this time, and didn't get the paralyze either. So that's alright. I'm going to start launching out many target arrows that will bounce around that will probably kill her. Okay, we are getting some fairly bad luck with our crawler mucus here, but I'll try again. We might get one of the other ones. Sure, we'll sneak attack. No? Okay, no mucus for us, but it's alright. This guy here was forced to stand on one leg, by the way, because he was another corrupt Flaming Fist, but Blaze, Liara, Portyr in there, a complicated character, is not. She relates to a quest, so you're not killing her. She doesn't get pulled in anyway. Alright, we want to try to weaken that Steel Watcher further and also take out more of these guys. They have an archer up there too who we'd better have a plan for. So, I'm going to run up and shoot a many-target arrow at her. Yeah, I should have gotten a little closer, but good enough. Okay. So the Steel Watcher, we are not getting down immediately, it seems. And I have walked into his range, so I better have some evasive action ready, I guess. But I've got options for that. I can do rogue disengages, I can do Misty Steps, I can do lots of things to get out of there. Back to the main part of the battlefield. So, they don't seem to have anyone here who can counterspell, so I'm free to have Ballista attack who he pleases. But first, we should probably have maybe Karlak throw a water bottle over there. Oh, now it decided to pull you in and end your turn forcibly. And oh, I just walked her over. That is really annoying, and it sets up a Saurian to take damage that would easily be avoidable, because he had actions he could use to get out of there. But, okay. Maybe if we're lucky, it'll also decide to skip the turn of the people that are over there in combat, but I don't want to count on that. Well, what we can do for now, at least, is we can throw out a water bottle over there. I'm going to try to avoid killing that civilian, because of course part of the idea here is to save people from the Flaming Fists and the Steel Watchers. We can't actually out of character do anything for that person. I think they're impossible to revive, but we will be careful not to Ice Blast them. Okay, it's annoying that because of that accidental movement due to joining the fight in a weird way, I can't control them, I can't get that back person wet. But, okay, I will adapt. I'm hoping still that at some point here, additional Flaming Fist reinforcements will show up, from that path, and they can attack in large numbers from all sides here and make for a pretty fun battle. So far, it hasn't happened, but there is still time. Alright, let's be careful how we target. Okay. That Steel Watcher did really, amazingly on its initiative.
Behold the dance.
I think we better have, given that they also dodged a bunch there, Ballista focus on bringing it down. So what we're going to do, I think, then, is apply a Hex to it for now, and then we're going to get a lot of beams onto it. If it blows up, it's going to destroy her. I need to be careful about that, too. So maybe I will put on Repelling Blast as well as... Oh, now Free Cast is back. What is this? Okay, I'm confused. Is it only usable in combat? I didn't think so. Okay, so we're gonna push you like that. And then I guess if we fly over here, we can probably push her further away from the unconscious person. Invalid target. No, it's not an invalid target. It's really gotten weird with its, targeting and whether it's honest about that or not since one of the recent patches. Alright. Well, I could have this water myrmidon fly over there, and if it focus blasts, it's not very efficient, but it should be able to put that guy into explode mode.
Time to push my luck again.
Blown up. Okay. So we have to deal with that fist. If I fly in over here, I might be able to use Bloodlust and attack both of them. We'll go for it. Fell over. Well, that was pretty improbable, but okay. We've got to watch out for these guys that are archers. They can do volley shots that deal massive damage because they hit an AoE twice, so they can easily hurt all my summons at once. There we go, that unlocks everyone else. We've got several of the brawnier types of Steel Watchers still left. Alright. Executioner going down.
I thirst for combat.
That was unlikely. Okay. Can she get the finisher with a halo of spores? Maybe. Not enough movement. What? We can see the range. He's right there. He's literally right there. Okay.
Fresh orders?
There he goes. Okay. Well, I can have you guys peck that guy or something like that and then have all the skeletons pile on. That or there's Fist Natine over there. I need to learn these guys have riposte available, apparently. But there should be one reaction for that. So, there we go. I never thought much about the melee ones because being a pretty much pure range party, they always just die. Plus, I don't tend to fight them at all because, they're not usually the enemy. But for this challenge run where I'm trying to fight everything and so forth, it seems like I ought to fight them. Bird could probably get the kill. There we go. Yeah, you run, people that we've rescued. So that guy gets a turn, which is irksome. I guess I'll use cutting words to negate that. He shouldn't have had a chance at all, but it's okay. Okay, so let's get everyone's turns here equally at least, so that's alright.
Come on.
Now, we want to take out all the remaining enemies, because I guess no more Flaming Fists are showing up here. The Steel Watcher that outspeeds everyone is a bit of an issue, or outspeeds, like, the skeletons. That means we can't bring the skeletons into play until it goes down. So, I think we'll try to use some of our elementals to help deal with that. Okay, I just need to, for roleplay purposes, because I'm trying not to kill the civilians here, move Astarion over thereabouts, so I've got a free shot to deal with just the Steel Watcher. We're doing pretty poorly on actually hitting, despite having good accuracy against him. Yeah, wow. Okay, with 60% to hit, we missed like 4 out of 6.
Put him up.
Oof. Can the Kanban get close enough to fire? I'm not actually sure. This might be a waste of the Kanban's turn. We'll see. Yeah, waste of the Kanban's turn. Okay. We could flash blinder it, of course. I don't know why he didn't riposte. Is it because he's now frightened? I don't know when they can do that because I haven't seen them use it much before. Alright, maybe you should just throw a flash blinder and that'll get Astarion out of there just fine. But it feels wasteful. You could shoot an arrow of darkness and then they can just walk away from it. That would be a little bit less of a resource cost, I guess. So who do we have here to deal with? We've got you and you. And I do want to deal with the Steel Watcher. I guess you can help take out that guy.
Gods, it's hot in here.
Will the Woodwood manage to do something here?
Can't even catch my
Unlikely, but you never know. No. One good thing is that means he's used his attack of opportunity, so Ballista is free to fly at will. It says path is interrupted, but I'm just not believing it. It's a rotten liar. Okay, so that worked just fine. So we do have the issue still of that Steel Watcher. Can I force tunnel it out of there? We found that just didn't work last time, but I know it can work. I'm going to just force tunnel over there and, you know, use that for a little bit of movement to get to work and hopefully target her at least. And out of range of him. Oh well, we'll just take her out. Okay. So that leaves just the Steel Watcher.
Let's turn someone inside out.
And Murphy, of course.
Quickly.
Okay, I guess we're going to use a flash blinder after all. Because I can't find a good way to push that guy out, which is what I needed to do.
Citizens, do not be alarmed.
We can just stab it for some melee damage anyway.
Step quick.
Ready for battle. A bold maneuver.
Okay, so now we've got all these skeletons to shoot down Fist 18 over there. Okay. I think we can just end everyone else's turns.
Go for the throat.
It's not going into explode mode, which is strange. They seem to do that like randomly below a certain hit point threshold. I don't know how to explain it. Now it's in explode mode. Okay. Well, just for roleplay purposes, I'm going to try to pull that civilian out of there with one of my void bulbs. There you go. You're safe now. Alright. Well, it didn't end up being the epic battle I was hoping for with Flaming Fist reinforcements joining in, but we did what we could to fight a plausible giant group of Flaming Fist. We can go in here and pick up an interesting quest from a rather interesting character. We've got Laura there, and then the interesting one is Blaze Liara Portyr. There's like 10 or 12 books in the game revolving around her, spelling out a fair amount of interesting conspiracies revolving around her. So, here she's under a magical spell from Auntie Ethel, as we'll find out doing this quest. That's just wiping her memory about the kidnapping of this woman's daughter. Now, that seems to be unrelated to the other stuff going on with her as far as I can tell, though. So, for one thing, being a Portyr, the Portyrs are one of the most powerful and important political families in Baldur's Gate. Her uncle, Dillard Portyr, is one of the Council of Four, like the aristocrats that run the city, basically. So, she, as his niece, is possibly a successor to him in that position, per some notes that Gortash has and so forth. And it might have also been part of what got her into this fairly high-ranking position. Being a Blaze is like the second highest rank in the Flaming Fist after Older Ravengard himself. But we also find notes from Raphael indicating that he pulled a bunch of strings to get her to this position at great cost, really, to himself and his henchmen for some reason. No motive ever spelled out. We find notes indicating that she's actually pretty upstanding, which is weird within the Flaming Fist. She's resented by the corrupt people because she cracks down on their corruption. But she's also like only moderately competent because she fails to investigate the ball stuff properly, denies resources to do so, and got enchanted by a fake creature without noticing it, among other things. So, a weird character. I don't know why Raphael is promoting her. Lots of things don't quite add up. So, we can maybe use Arcana here to notice that she's under a spell. Oh, you know what? I forgot to turn on my concentration spells. All got turned off when I traveled. So, need to remember that after this conversation finishes.
Thing has tampered with her memory.
What,
I don't know why no one else is noticing her weird behavior here. There is another Flaming Fist right here in the room that you think could take over, having heard the conversation. But I guess she is the only Flaming Fist that, like, cares about anything, so...
Nonsense, I'm fine. Madam, tell me why you're... here, and I will assist.
God, you're right. Something's wrong with her. Can you help me? I've no family, and Vanra's father isn't around.
So, her daughter's been captured and we'll find out what happened to her.
I'm so afraid. I'm so tired. I've been looking night and day everywhere I could.
So, if this is just one person with a child missing in this city where lots of bad things are happening, lots of refugees are getting separated, he couldn't necessarily do anything about it, but given that magical tampering is afoot here, there's something else going on.
Her name is Vanra. She's 7 years old.
So, for that reason, Ballista is going to look into this.
We were in the Blushing Mermaid when she was taken.
The Blushing Mermaid's a kind of seedy tavern that we'll find.
And of course, the front of house, Bosun Gannet was there, and the owner of the Blushing Mermaid, Captain Grizzly. Neither lifted a finger to help me look.
We'll find out why that was. Actually, I'm not 100% sure how, Ethel disappeared Vonda in the first place, but she has her ways, I suppose.
No. Unless you count a couple of old drinking mates at the next table.
I mean, that does seem like it would be helpful, but I guess not.
They barely remember their own names. I was sober, though. I swear. I'd stop in the maid for a drink sometimes. But it was only a quick one. Thank you. I'll head home. Can't stand being around these idiots any longer. Come find me the...
Okay, so, picked up that quest. We can talk to Liara, but she's nothing of interest to say here, really.
I apologize for the hassle that woman caused. Such time wasting.
This is...
there a plague on the Flaming Fist?
I don't know if that's the hag tampering with her or if she's showing her true colors there, because she otherwise is the only one who seems to care about helping people, so... Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Well, one thing we can do is go to the Stormshore Tabernacle and actually visit a couple of temples to pick up some important buffs here at the beginning of Act 3. So, Stormshore is interesting that it costs a fair amount of gold to get your power-ups. We could easily get enough by selling scrolls, but there's also a way to recycle the same amount of gold. So that might be what we're going to do here just for saving time, because it'll end up being about the same anyway. So, first of all, over here, Vicar Humbletoes is in charge, and he's a merchant who sells a few odds and ends that can sometimes be useful.
Children may not enjoy you shopping around the
I guess this is a warlock dialogue thing.
None. Be welcome, child of... You have come far, I perceive.
I wonder if his name Humbletoes is meant to be an opposite version of the Proud Feet hobbits from The Lord of the Rings. He's a halfling, so...
Of course, my child. Within limits.
Alright. Well, Elixir of Heroism seems worth buying, because I had to go through a lot of those recently. I have plenty of these, great spell though it is, so I'll probably limit myself to just that elixir. Could have put on the Ring of Geniality, but I think that'll be alright. Now, he'll stop acting as a merchant after you've stolen anything from down below. It's also important to note that if you want to get the buff here and also steal things from down below, you need to do things in the right order, which is to steal first. So we're going to go do that. I'm going to just talk about how we do things here. You can have someone talk to the vicar over here and have him look in that direction.
Fear and cruelty enter the tabernacle.
And we can then lockpick. Now, in character, Ballista does respect a portion of the Pantheon of the Forgotten Realms, but not most of them anymore, given what we've seen so far. So he is, I think, willing to take some of their items and use them to actually save the city. And then he'll probably return them afterward. Like, let's make a donation here. Disarming booby traps. One of these sarcophagi can somehow be looted at massive range. It's weird. The other one can't be, I think. This is a strength rather than a, lock picking we're doing here. To just somehow at long range wrench the lid of that sarcophagus and loot it. Weird stuff. This one I think is genuinely unlootable. Now, one reason that I'm doing this is that you can get actually an encounter if you've stolen from the gods here. So because I'm trying to do all the difficult battles, I want to get that encounter and make it as hard for myself as I can. So therefore, I must come down here and with everyone have them steal something so they can all get that debuff, basically. So Ballista will open up that chest and take out, let's go with the Potions of Healing. He then gets Castigated by Divinity, a debuff that when he gets healed, he'll then get some devas that will attack him. Devas are pretty formidable, so that will be interesting.
You have come far, I perceive. How may I serve you this day?
Okay, so you then leave, and then we'll have you go on downstairs.
Moving out.
So we'll have each person steal one thing so that when we do a short rest, we'll get swarmed by a whole bunch of Devas to fight. The Shield of Shielding is actually, pretty good because it has the very useful spell shield, but I think we have enough ways to cast that already that it's not that big a deal to us. But, the shield spell is great. Helm is one of the very few gods that actually does literally anything to help us in this quest, because he's the one who made Withers help us, otherwise Withers would not have. So that's something. I hate Tyr just for being in this setting when he's a Norse god and shouldn't be here, so serves you right, Tyr.
Yes, please.
This is the real prize, the Amulet of the Devout. +2 to spell save DC is pretty massive for one item, and also gives you another use of Channel Divinity, which for someone like my Karlach is really, really good. So very powerful stuff that'll let her get another Ultra Lightning Bolt out, which will be pretty devastating to someone.
Still breathing, despite everything.
Okay, so, assuming things work the way they used to, as long as you already have Castigated by Divinity, you can then make a donation, and you can then receive the benefits of doing the donation.
How much further can I go?
So if I go up here to the Statue of the Gods,
This altar isn't
there used to be a bug preventing you from making donations at all. Hopefully that has been fixed.
Your god is one of many. And in this
Okay,
place,
this ball thing does nothing for you.
its mighty divine flame. The gods are ready to receive your joyful donation.
I think Ballista respects Corellon, the creator of the elves, so we'll go with that. And we need to donate. Can we split that up, please? Okay, I guess I'll use this many to split up the gold. I believe 4,500 is the amount that's needed at this level to get the donation. Anything less than that, you don't get the donation.
The gods are ready to receive your joy.
It's doing the thing where it won't let me confirm, so that bug does still exist. But I did prepare for this, so what we're going to try then, I guess, is we're going to take that money and put it in one of the several bags that I brought for this purpose. I think that will be donatable, getting around this silly bug.
The gods are ready to receive.
There we go.
The amount you've offered proves
So,
your piety and devotion.
That gives us a buff, which is not really worth the massive amount of money.
For a divine blessing. Mighty divine flame. Your soul opens. Your father's power stops your heart for one horrible, terrible moment.
Get out of here, ball.
With a lash of
There we go. So now I have Anointed in Splendor, giving me +2 to saving throws. That's pretty minor, because I don't make many saving throws, but there we are. So we'll put that into another bag that we have ready for the purpose.
You need my expertise.
And then we'll have our next party member go up and make a prayer and offer a bunch of money.
God. As it reads, show your devotion. The gods are ready to...
What's in here?
So, the neat thing is your offerings end up back here. Alright, Karlach, you are up next.
This altar isn't your god, is...
So, with that, we all have Anointed in Splendor. We also have Castigated by Divinity, so when we do a short rest, we'll be attacked with, I believe, 8 Devas. A pretty serious and fun battle coming up. But, while we're getting blessings from the gods and so forth, we might want to stroll on over to the Wave Mother's temple, where we can get a more powerful one for a much better price. Oh, I should remember while I'm thinking about it to activate my concentration spells of various kinds. So, yeah, Astarion, I'll throw protection for evil and good onto Ballista, because he's more vulnerable. Just matters that you're concentrating on something to activate your strange conduit ring.
Waiting orders.
And I guess you could throw out a higher level magic weapon if we wanted to onto Astarion.
Alright, what now?
There we go. So we've got our concentrations going. We'll walk on southwest, and eventually we'll find Volo in a bit of trouble. Oh, the anti-hag group support poster. Might as well read that and get that little quest going. There are so many really cool and pretty environments here in this part of Baldur's Gate. I really enjoy it. I think we're over near the counting house here. So we need to keep on walking to get around the shore area. Lots of people to talk to. I can't really talk in this run to every single random NPC. Many have mildly interesting things to say. But we'll just make our way over to the Temple of Umberlee, where we can get a really good all-day buff. With only one battle in the way, the one to save Volo.
It's not called great. Whoa, whoa, mate. This is the last place you need to be.
Oh, I forgot there's this random hobbit criminal or whatever.
2 words. Guild business. Only an idiot gets between them and their shipments.
Yeah, we'll fight these guys, because that's part of my challenge, I guess. Not that they're a very hard fight.
Cocky shit. I'm gonna enjoy this.
You are? Like, did you not see the giant army rolling up behind me? You're gonna fight like 9 skeletons, 4 elementals. Okay, buddy. My elementals are off to a bad start, but here's a devil, and then we've got, you know, some angels here too. You're up against both sides in this cosmic struggle. Is this really worth some Thieves Guild drugs? Big Guido, but he's a tiny person. Okay. Did I not get to that guy? There we go. Triple kill. Well, that was some avoidable violence. So they had a bunch of drugs here. We don't even want them. That's what the guild business was, though. I guess we found that out. Construct slaying, yeah, you know, we'll take that stuff, I guess.
I need to rest.
You need to rest. We're just getting warmed up, dude. Okay. Well, over here, there's Steel Watchers doing nothing while Volo is about to be murdered. So, we'll come and save him, I guess.
The man behind corruption. Witness the feeble, putrid form of our
Got another waypoint to save us the trek out here. That'll be nice.
Listen! I can explain! You have done quite enough explaining.
I'm pretty sure he's immortal. Has been killed several times anyway. His lore is not necessarily to be taken seriously, but Mr. at one point made him an important pillar supporting the existence of magic.
Lies. Your delusions. Your conspiracies. Though you hide behind a mask of stories, we have seen beyond the veil. We see what you really are. Fearmonger.
So anyway, they're absolute cultists that are trying to kill the guy that's spreading the word about the absolute. But, I don't know, I don't think people would need that much convincing that the absolute is a bit of a problem when the absolute is outside the city.
Stirs in recognition. This man is infected
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that point.
Rid ourselves of this cankerous sore. Today we burn away all falsehoods.
I can't help but notice you have a giant belly tattoo that looks suspiciously like the triangle skull symbol of the Absolute. No one else seeing that? I guess it's not quite the same, but it does look similar to Merkel's symbol and the Absolute symbol.
This promises to be an amusing spectacle. Let us see if death can silence Volo at last.
I mean, he does sympathize to that. Yeah, we do hate Volo, but I want one like, Volo has done harm, but you serve the Absolute.
The newcomer speaks, and speaks of evidence, and trials, and justice. And in so doing, they delay their very own salvation. Dear citizen, dear friend, rest. No.
I guess we attack now. Alright. So, I mean, it's not as bad as it looks with all the smoke powder barrels there. They don't go off immediately. These guys are... Did they actually win initiative? Or did my army just not quite get over here? Okay, the army just did not quite get over here. Alright. You guys wait. You're gonna get it in like 5 minutes when my army of elementals and things like that arrives. So, we probably want to throw out some ice at all those guys that are clustered. Minthara, you play the usual supporting role of clustering people up to then wreck them efficiently. Maybe a void bulb is the call here to get these people pulled together. And then one water bottle will soak them and then the Myrmidons will tear them apart. It didn't display me as being in the way there. That's annoying. I thought I checked the area and it did not look like I was going to be in it. Alright. We can drop a water bottle and splash that on them easily enough. Go ahead and shoot it. Okay. I wonder if this constitutes high ground. This probably does. We'll go for that then. Don't mind me. Okay, does Minthara need to back out of there to be safe? Okay.
Easy these days.
Now, where's my other Myrmidon? Come on, go. Fly it. Okay. There we go. A lot of them drop at once. Dude, your name is Imprudence. I feel bad for you. It's like the opposite of one of those Puritan names. Okay. Antinia... Man, these guys have just the worst names. No wonder they had to turn to a life of cult crime.
Yes.
Wait, is Karlach not in this? Karlach.
Incoming.
Hungry for the slaughter.
You know, someone probably needs to actually rescue Volo. Maybe Astarion is the one for that job, like running around there with some of his extra dashes. Because we don't need the firepower. We've got that taken care of. So, Yeah, you, Astarion, sure, I don't know. You've got this one shot, can't be used for anything else, so just take that person out as you walk by. And then we'll just throw out a water bottle, and then we'll rescue the idiot. Alright, he'll go to our camp and give us a minor bonus relating to Slayer stuff. Okay.
These things have stayed interesting.
Volo, if you walk into those flames and die, I will be quite cross with you.
Who's next?
Let's get rid of some of that fire for our own convenience. There we go.
I have a lot on my mind. And, well, in it.
Is that going to explode at some point? No, I guess not. Okay.
I have something to ask.
Alright, Volo.
I really thought I was done for. I suppose thanks are in order. Again, what's an heroic story without a little risking of one's neck, eh? And you know what they say, the bigger the story, the more people want to kill you for it.
I guess that's probably true.
I'll tell you all about it. But not here. Too many eyes, ears, and weapons about.
You think there'll be fewer weapons at our camp? I don't think you've seen our camp. Okay, well, off he goes. We get a little power up from him when we go to camp. It's not a terribly important one. Over here is a much better one that, for my run, will be very powerful. This is the Temple of the Dark Minor Sea Goddess Umberly. They're having a funeral for one of their members who was killed as a result of stuff we'll find out about later on.
Please carry Holly to her final rest in the deep wilds. Please. Sorry. Are you here for Wave Servant Holly's funeral? Oh, it's already started. They're just inside. No. All are welcome to come and celebrate the life of the fallen Wave Servant. May the Wave Mother smile on you.
She's the kind of goddess you have to worship to placate her, basically, although she's unpredictable and fickle, so, yeah. Alright. So over we go, and if you make a donation here of just like 1 gold, that will secure you an all-day-long bless. There are a few sources of all-day-long blesses in the game, but this one you can get for your whole party easily enough, 1 time apiece, and that's a really good deal. So there we've got a bless. Okay, so we've all got our all-day-long bless. So, with that, we can get to some of the bigger actions in Act 3. I think I'm going to hit up Sorcerer's Sundries and battle against not just Aelin, but also Lorroakan at the top of the tower there. That should be a lot of fun. Then probably Raphael's Stronghold after that. Thank you for watching, everyone. And a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. The Irreverent Reverend, Master Knight DH, Jackie, Enlino, Travis, Andrew Curzon, Trubsy, Oliver, Croniche, Jago, DK in DK, Gregory, Broken Box, Jenna M, Just Becca, Jack, Marcus the Carcass, Nubiana, Discord Colossus, Nicholas Schmuck, Kostya Nesterovich, Frederick Brune, Robin, Stefan Van Zyl, Eddie, Mina, Ali Kasamoglu, Skylar Sauce, Nick Myers, Emp Ninjas, Preben A, Chupatan, Diabetic Cat, Marvin Fay, Max, Afro Zamurai, Step Back Too Deadly, Lodestone, Bickmars, Brad, IJ23, Rodrigo Lopez Dato, Kevin Ditchide, Silent, Eldritch, Jake Watson, and a name that starts with sword emojis. Have a great day, everyone.